Oh my gosh. Okay, hi. Well, almost didn't go live today, but I conquered, I conquered my will, and here I am. Ugh. Okay, so today I feel the need to talk about like putting yourself out there into the world. Most of the times we feel like we've done enough, or we're good enough, we're great enough when it comes to work, and that should speak for itself. But I mean, LinkedIn begs to differ. LinkedIn says, nope, that's not how it works. You know, so I know that for me, I believed that one should just, work hard quietly, and then one day, somewhere, somehow, someone influential is going to notice me. But then I also remember this story. If you're Nigerian, you must have heard this story where they said if you go to a site where building is happening, or was it a guy that was at a site where building was going on, and this guy, he was working just as hard as every other person there. So everybody else was working hard. But the difference, what made him stand out, was that he was wearing a red hat or cap. And so I always have that at the back of my mind, that yes, I'm not saying you are working harder than anybody else. Everybody's giving their best, but there is a need to stand out. And most times, standing out could be wearing the red cap. So I don't believe that you should be humble, when it comes to doing great work. I think that you should position yourself to be visible when you're doing great work. You can't wait for people to discover or find you when it comes to leadership in business, because a lot of the times you're going to get overlooked, and the people who will get the credit. Let me brighten my screen. Maybe that'll help with. Yeah, I think this helps to make the video lighting better. Um, yeah, I think in business, especially when you're working with people that are extroverted, and they will talk a lot more than you, they will sound much more confident. So be if you don't make moves to be strategic about being visible, your humility is not going to take you anywhere. So first of all, you need to know that there is a double standard, because as women, of course, we're told to, I've always said this, we're told just be humble. But men, they promote themselves shamelessly in the workplace. They will network, not every man, but a majority of them. They will network, they will do public speaking. They just know how to do that thing called strategic positioning, right? And we, as women, if we try to do the same, it's like, oh, are you boasting? That's not how a lady should behave. Especially trying to do something as simple as like just sharing your achievements. People will think that you're proud. But what we need to know is that that invisibility that women tend to attach themselves to, it benefits the system, so the organization, because It will, in the long run, keep women out of key decision making roles or circles because you are invisible. Nobody knows that you're good, you're great at what you do. Um, so being great, being awesome at your work, at your job is not enough for you to be successful. It just isn't enough. Your talent, your hard work, yes, it's essential, but without that visibility, most times opportunities will tend to pass you by. Um, when you're undiscovered or when people have not noticed you, I'm not saying eye service. Remember, I'm saying do the hard work, right? Have the talent, have the skill. But when you're undiscovered, it it's a lot of times it means that someone who is less someone who has less competence will get the role or will get the credit or will get the deal because they have positioned themselves strategically. Your impact can only be felt and multiplied when people know about it. So, strategic positioning is all about letting people know that you're good at what you do. You also need to find ways to make yourself impossible to ignore. So, own your narrative. Thank goodness for LinkedIn. Share your views, share your wins, share your results, share your lessons learned. Talk about yourself. You have to be very active in looking for speaking engagements or an opportunity to be featured in the media. If you need to pay if you need to pay to be on in the news or whatever it is, find a way to do that. Use social media, be a thought leader on social media. Find ways to build relationships with people that we can say these are decision makers, and don't always wait for you to be introduced. So put yourself in that room where you can meet these people directly. You also need to stop thinking that being visible is vanity, like vanity upon vanity, all this vanity. No, being visible is not, like I said, it's not eye service. It's like it's your responsibility. You owe it to yourself for the hard work that you've done or you continue to do. You you owe it to yourself to be responsible for that hard work to be known by the world. Because when you're visible, you don't just do it for yourself. You're creating like a can I say a path that other women can follow. Can human beings, we are all copies of each other. We mimic each other. And so when you are out there, other women can definitely just follow what you've done. So you're influencing your circle when you are sharing your expertise. You're also able to educate people. When you become visible, you're able to inspire people. And it can go as far as opening doors for your community, for the people around you. So it's your responsibility to be visible. I think as much as possible, try to publish articles on LinkedIn or any business magazine you have access to. I think you can create case studies. There are so many tools available in 2025 that you can use to do that. Create case studies of your work so that potential clients or even investors can be aware of you. And then network intentionally, follow up with people. You just don't collect their contacts, be on their neck. And as much as possible, try to be a mentor, not just within a quiet circle, but like mentor people publicly. You can use Zoom to host webinars or sessions or roundtables, whatever it is that you need to do. Being visible is your responsibility. So, to round up today's session, I want to say you need to stop waiting for someone to give you permission to be visible. It is your responsibility. Stop underplaying your role in your business, especially when you win, whether it's a contract or a deal or whatever it is, a partnership. And then I want you to confidently walk into rooms and announce yourself, whether it's through your work or through your presence or your voice. Be bold enough to walk into those rooms and let people know that a woman has entered that room. All right. Thank you very much for today. I'm doing this. I am doing this. I'm doing this. Okay. Bye bye. See you next time.